Hiya, it's Kerry from Mobilates, and this week I'm with you for a normal half-hour session. We had a little speedy 10 minutes and lots of different moves and little things you could try out during the day, like a sort of a sampler session as part of the Mindspace week. This week, we're back to our 30-minute slot. We're going to take it nice and slow. We're going to keep moving, mobilizing. We could be standing, we could be sitting. There's going to be a lying down section that's optional, which could be on your bed, or it could be, if you're happy to get down to the ground, maybe you've got a mat or a rug that you lie on. So we can do it all the ways. Shall we get started? We're going to start with a breath. You're breathing already. This is just a more conscious breath. So I'm taking my feet a little bit wider. If I was sitting, I'd be sitting right back in my chair. We don't want to be too worried about balance. I'm just going to have a little hello here. Hello, Christine. Hello, Barbara. Lovely to have you. So we're going to do 3 breaths. And on the first breath, I want you to focus on the inhale. There'll be an exhale as well, but just focus, be interested in the inhale bit and just follow it. The second breath, I'm going to take another breath. I want you to follow the exhale and just notice what's going on for you. And on the third breath, we're not going to focus on either bit. We're just going to enjoy the breath, a bit of energy coming in, a bit of release of tension, stiffness, anything like that as it goes out. So let's get started. Let's take in some breath. Inhale, please. And let that breath go. Exhale through your mouth or your nose. And when you're ready, take another breath in, this time focusing on the exhale part. And the third focus is just enjoy the energy coming in and letting the tension leave as you breathe out. So take another breath. I couldn't resist a little wiggle there. Right, now let's take our legs a little closer in and give your feet a wipe or a rub. If you're sitting, you could even give them a little rub, one foot to the other. We're just trying to create warmth and sensation in the soles of our feet in particular. The weather is just on the turn of being a little cooler, so you may need some more warmth coming into your feet. Right, and then we're going to go into, let's go into a pelvic tilt. So if you're standing, soften your knees. And we're going to hold the belly, hold the back, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, it's like you're tipping your pubic bone and your belly towards your low ribs. As you breathe in, it's like it's tipping forwards. Now, if you do this on a chair, you'll feel you're rolling back onto the softer bit of your bum, and then you're rolling forwards onto the squishier bit under your thighs. If you're doing this standing, we're trying to get it just in this pelvic area and not the legs sort of doing this, going forwards and backwards. Just this low part of our back, getting into the lumbar, tipping the pelvis. That's it. And then let that go. And grow a little taller, sitting or standing. This is going to be a little bit of a balance challenge, so you can take your feet wider if you want to. We're going to lean slightly to one side and slightly to the other. Now, this is really more about balance. It's really for your ankles. So the balance is a bonus, but it's quite a strong bonus at the moment. And if you're doing this sitting, your hands on your knees. You could have your hands on your chairs. You're just shifting the weight and pushing a little bit into the feet. We're just trying to get a little bit of a weight shift more in the feet than the body. I know you can see the upper of my body tipping more from side to side, but I'm trying to tip into my feet as well. You can see one side lifting up and then the other side lifting up. That's it. And then let that go. Have a little wriggle. Right, next we'll tap the back of our head. We can give the bridge of our nose a rub and take those sensations back. Maybe give your shoulders a roll and then turn your head side to side. We can open the opposite arm out. So you're showing me your palm and your head goes the other way. So I'm doing 3 that side. I'm going to swap over. 3 the other side. This arm might go a little further away. It depends what feels comfortable in the shoulder. We're just sort of opening the shoulder out a little bit here. Well, that's at least 3. And now more for the shoulders. So you could do alternate rolls, one side then the other. You could let your arms be long and roll them together. Take your time. See how big a circle you can make today. Might be really small, might be really close to you, might be really, really big. That's it. Right, where are we going next? Ah, yes. So if you're standing, now what you think about a little knee bend, and it's like your back is sliding down a wall. So your back it's not doing this, it's not tipping forwards. It's just going to slide down and come up like a little bob. If you can go further, you can go further. If it's a tiny bob, go for the tiny bob. If you are sitting, press downwards into the floor. You can rest your hands on your legs. And you can see how my head and body just goes up and down. So again, I'm not leaning forwards. I could put my feet slightly further back. It's going to give different sensations along the front and into my knees. But the L shape here, that would be great. Right, now we're going to get our arms joining in. So we're going to start swinging the arms in sort of quite slow motion, in time with the movement. And then we can let our body turn. So this is our torso, turning at the waist. Now in the chair, just watch out for the sides of the chair and banging your arms. If you are standing, there's the bob, and then we get the arms to join in. I just have to get my rhythm. You know how it is. And then there's the turn. Perfect. So we brought a bit of rotation in. Now we're going to do side bend. So let's bring the arms in and let's have a hand on the chest and a hand down the side. So when we do a side bend, we want to start really tall. Think about anything that's on a base, on the floor or on the seat. So if you're standing, it's your feet, and if you're sitting, it's your bum, your sit bones and your feet. You want to keep the weight really even on these things that are keeping you supported, your feet and your sit bones. So we'll grow tall, and then we're going to do this little side bend. Now, it's not how far this hand goes downwards. It's more how much can you open up here. Now, another way to do this is to put the hand like you're doing a salute. Press it against your head. Keep that same contact and just see how much can you open up this area here rather than how much can you slide down there. That's much more squashy here. This is sort of like lifting here and lifting here even more. You can even take the arm upwards like you're painting the ceiling. Last one on this side. And then we're going to swap sides. So we could start with a hand on the chest, hand very lightly on the thigh. And we're thinking about this bit opening up rather than, oh, how far can I get down here? Because it just gets too squashy. So then we'll go to the salute. So this area, we're keeping this all as open as we can, like we're squashed between something at the front, something behind us. And then if you like, the arms straight up and over, take it up. And then it's like you're painting the ceiling. You'll just see a bit of my arm. There it is. So it depends on your shoulder. But all those positions are going to give you a side bend. Right now, let's do a little bit more rotation. So take your legs wider. If you're sitting, I'd like you to do that, sliding your hands forwards and backwards on your thighs. If you're standing, we're going to just have a little turn. Gently using the arms for a bit of momentum, starting to look a bit behind us. You see my feet are moving. And then slowing that down. And now we're going to do it in a really controlled way, not the whole body. So I'm going to bring the legs in a little, still keeping them wide-ish. And put the hands on the chest. And now we're going to just move from the waist, just a little bit each way. If you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia, I want you to keep it to quite a small turn. I don't want you to sort of wring out and get that really, really twisty sensation. Same if you've got any sort of spinal issues that get aggravated by rotation. If you haven't, you might go a little further. So I'm going towards, there's a window over here, and I'm just turning towards that whilst I keep my hips just facing you. And then I'm going to turn, picture over here, have a little look at that. And I'm having to really concentrate, not on moving the upper half, but keeping this bit really still. You can open your arms out. This is my wet washing arms, so you can have palms up, palms down, it doesn't matter. The arms can be super straight if you like, but that tends to make the shoulders a bit uncomfortable. So imagine this is a washing line, there's some washing hanging off it, and then try. My arms aren't doing any extra moving. This is all coming from my waist. And then make it swishy again. Make it soft. We're going to start giving our wrists a little circle. You can do that as you're doing a bit of turning, a bit of swishing, or we can come to stillness, a little bit of a circle, loose fists, and then we can open out. These are infinity loops with the hands and with the arms. You can keep it like this. Next thing to add in is to send your chest up a little as you open your arms. If you want more, you might send your chest upwards, and then we might go into a hip hinge sort of shape. That's when the arm goes back like that. So I'll show you from the side. And if you're doing this sitting, I like the legs really wide here so I can push into the feet, get a little bit of extra action into the legs as I do it. Stops me from falling off the chair. And then make this smaller and smaller and smaller. And then we're going to bring the legs closer together. And we're going to do a movement which is opposite arm to leg. So I'm going to move this leg and take it outwards. Almost like a little circle. And the rest of my body, I'm trying to keep it still. This leg nearly went with it. If I was standing, I might hold on to something. And I'm trying to do that. You could graze the floor like that. You could have your leg bent, and in the air, we're getting into the hip and giving it a little move around. Stirring into the hip. Right, now we're going to do the opposite with the other arm. No, the opposite arm. And a little circling outwards. That's it. So it's a coordination challenge. If you're standing, it's a balance challenge. A little bit balancy as well when you're sitting. And then we can let that go. Maybe just give that leg a little wiggle each way. You might be swaying your hips from side to side a bit if you're standing. And then we're going to do the other side. So start with the leg and circle outwards. Might make it, that's quite a big circle. Could make it a little circle. I find a bigger one is more comfortable in this position. And then we're going to add the opposite arm, keeps growing really tall. And if I'm doing this standing, I'm just trying to get both bits coordinated. That's the one. You could even bend your leg, quite a lot. And then all the weight's going into this standing leg. But it could also look like this. And then we're going to put both legs down, give things a little rub, give the sides of your hips a little rub, do some hula hoop circles, just loosen things off a little bit. And then we're going to take it down to the floor if you're coming down to the floor today, or you could stay in your chair. So I'm just going to tilt the camera downwards a little. You might want a cushion for your head. Or I quite like a folding towel. And if you're in your seat, get yourself comfy, sit right back in your chair. I think I need a cushion as well. It's one of those days. And we're going to start with, if you're sitting in a chair or on the edge of your bed, your legs bent in that L shape like we were before. And if you're lying down, we're in the same sort of position, really. It's just that all our support, instead of being underneath our bum, is head and back and feet. But we've got our legs in that same L shape. And let's start with pelvic tilt again. Now, when I'm lying down and doing these, I really like my hands on my low ribs, the very bottom bit. And then I'm thinking of the pubic bone tilting towards my hands. So from here towards these hands and then away. And letting everything else be really heavy. You can even close your eyes if you fancy it. It makes it a little bit more mindful. One more. And then rest your hands somewhere on your belly or your pelvis, and we're going to start circling. So you could imagine that you've got a tray and a marble on that tray, resting on your belly, and you're just rolling it right around the edge. It's a little lip at the side so it won't fall off. If you're doing this sitting, it's like an upright circle. This movement becomes vertical. So it's like a slow washing machine cycle. I like to imagine like coloured chiffon scarf, something like that, going around the circle if you like a visual. That's it. And then the other way. And then lengthen your legs. If you're sitting, you can keep them still in the bend shape, or you can make them a little longer. And we're just going to pump our feet up and down and get some extra circulation going. Do one foot then the other. I can feel that it's trying to take my socks off as I do this as well. And if you're lying down, it helps just lengthen your spine a little bit as well. But it's good for the legs and getting a bit of circulation going. Right now, we'll get the feet back on the floor and we'll let the head either turn or, if you're lying down, roll from side to side. And then come back to the center. We're going to bring our arms either up to the ceiling if you're lying down, or if you're sitting, just straight ahead and your palms are facing each other. Your shoulders are resting back, so they might be against the back of the chair or they're against the ground. Now we're going to make one arm longer. So keep the arm the same shape. It could even be bent, and it stays that shape as it gets longer. So that's what that one would look like. Or they can be straight or straightish. And it's like that longest fingers trying to reach towards a wall or a ceiling. We're going to do 3. The rest of your body is really heavy and staying where it is. Other side, so I'm going for this hand. I'm really keeping my pelvis heavy here. My back ribs pressing into the floor. We're going to do both arms. Keeping both shoulder blades moving right round the rib cage, sliding round. It's like you're giving someone a parcel and they're either high up or far too far away. And then take the arms down. Now we're going to do something with our legs. So if you're lying down, take one leg up to a tabletop. That's like this L shape. If you're sitting, take one heel up. So you're like this if you're sitting, your toes just floating on the floor. Right, now we're going to lengthen the leg so that the thighs are parallel or parallel-ish. Long leg all the way to the toe. You don't need to really point it, it's just long. Then we're going to bend it back and lengthen it and bend it back and lengthen it. I'm pressing this other one down to keep everything else super still. And then I bend it and take it down and have a little sway. It's going to be the same on the other side. So I'm going to show the seated version. So this is the tabletop version, the lifted heel. And then I'm lengthening the leg. Now the thighs aren't going to be completely parallel here, unless you've got very strong thighs and maybe a bit more support underneath. If you've got a lot under your thigh, you could. But if they're a bit lower and more like that, that's okay. Just bending and coming back. We're keeping the gap between them about the same. And then have a little sway side to side. Right, we're going to bring a little bit of both in. So let's have one arm reaching towards the ceiling or towards the wall. Let's have one leg in that tabletop position. And we're going to have a little reach of the arm and then a lengthen of the leg. Reach of the arm, the shoulder, lengthen the leg, and one more, reach and lengthen. And then they go down. We're going to swap sides. So the leg comes up, opposite arms ready. I like my hands just across the belly on the hips because it just keeps everything focused and still. So we're going to reach the hand up and lengthen the leg away. We could do them both at the same time, but it gets a bit messy. So I'd rather keep it separate. Reach, lengthen. Keep pressing this other foot down. Reach and lengthen. And then bring everything down again. Have a little sway. Now we're going to place both palms together and reach the arms ahead again, so towards the ceiling or towards the wall, and take your legs wider. First, we're going to push the hands upwards against each other and up. So your shoulders will come away from the back of the chair or the floor or your mat, and then they're coming down. Take a breath in. Try that reach with an exhale. Keep everything else really heavy. And we come down one more. And then we're going to go a little side to side like that. It's almost like a pendulum. So if you think about, I'm going to choose my right hand. My right hand's going to press into my left hand and sort of lead the way as I rotate. And then my left hand's going to take us back to the center. Now the left hand is going to press into the right hand. And I'm going to rotate towards the screen. Now, just like before, because it's a torso rotation, if you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia, keep your range fairly small. You might use your legs as a sort of guideline. It wouldn't be sort of twisting that far whilst you keep your hips here, because that's quite a strong twist for any spinal issues. But otherwise, see how far you want to go. Now, at the moment, we've got upper body rotation going on. Another option is to let the whole side, so my right foot and my right hand are tipping over. This is really good for osteoporosis and osteopenia because it's not putting that twist and opposite direction rotation into your spine. Harder on the chair, I will say. That's it. And one more each way. And then if you've got something like a cushion under your head, you can take that out. If it's something that's pretty flat, like a towel, that can stay underneath. Bring your legs back in, bring your arms down by your side. And if you're seated, I'd like you to do some pelvic tilts. If you're lying down, I'd like you to go into a bridge. So we can keep it low, start with your pelvic tilt. Push down into your feet. Raise your hips. And feel your spine, some of your spine peel away from the floor. Hold it. And then slowly, slowly take it back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Maybe a little sway for both options in between. Taking it up. Holding it, pushing down into your feet. You could almost feel like your heels want to come closer to your bottom. And then rolling it down again. That wakes the hamstrings right up. One more. And then before we end, we're going to roll onto our fronts. Now, if you're seated, I'm going to give you the seated option now. I'd like you to sit upright. Don't have to be kneeling, you can be sat on your chair. Arms in an L shape, elbows at the sides of your waist, and the palms are just facing each other. And give your shoulders a roll here or a shrug. And then think about your collarbone right across here. So I've got a big sweatshirt on today, right across here. We're going to slide the elbows back. The gap between the hands stays the same, and this area opens up. And then they can come forwards, sliding back, coming forwards. If you want to take your gaze slightly up, you can, but you don't need to throw your head back. So that's what I'd like you to do. If you are on the floor, in your favorite position lying down, you can have your hands under your head, or I've got this towel here. I'm going to have my hands sort of just slightly under the towel. Keeps my fingers warm. Long legs. And the legs are active. So they're not flopping like that. They are long and reaching away. There's tension in them. I'm also imagining something cold underneath my belly. And that is going to help any sensation in my low back. You could also put a cushion underneath. Right, roll the shoulders, wiggle the shoulders, take them downwards. And then we're going to let our head and chest just float up. The gaze is down. I'm not really pressing into my arms, not actively. And take it down. You can use an exhale if you like, doesn't matter. I just like you to keep breathing. And then we can change it up a little. So we were doing a bit of back extension, sort of upper back extension there. We can take the palms underneath our shoulders. And it's almost like we're rolling the arms back here. So now we get the head and chest, and we get a little bit of work right into the lumbar. So it might be a little. You might feel more comfortable going onto your forearms like that and just looking towards the front of your mat or rug, having a little wiggle there. That's putting some extension into your back as well. I like it with a little wiggle. You could push into your hands a bit more. You might find some of your hips come off the floor. I've got sore arms at the moment. They don't really want to do that. Oh, one more will do. And then we'll put our heads down. You can look to the side if you like. Your legs can be wider. Same for seated. And we're going to have a little bum wiggle. So side to side, or circles if you're seated. And then we're going to take ourselves back to a sitting position if you're on your front. So you could push yourself back if you're happy to go onto your knees, or it might be you're going to roll onto your side. I'm going to go back via my knees. We're going to come back to any sort of sitting position that works for you. We're going to bring one arm across and do that infinity loop again, but this time it's just one arm. And we've got some bit more rotation coming in. And then we're going to swap to the other arm. I feel like I'm conducting, but I'm not sure what the time signature is. And then we're going to have both hands out to the side and scoop up the air because we are done. Bring your hands as high as you can and then into your chest. Thank yourselves. Your amazing bodies. Well done for coming, turning up. or doing this on catch up, however you do it. Lovely to have you here. Oh, hello, Rachel. Nice to have you. Oh, lovely comment as well. I'm just going to nip into the comments. Hello. Oh, I see Jackie's here as well. Hello, Jackie. Oh, so I'm just going to come into the comments and say a few highs, but I shall see you next week. Have a great week.